Hey, comic friends, I'm here with some powerful run fills that I've gotten both from online sellers and from local shops. Powerful, powerful stuff. This stuff is from as you know, there's a number of runs that I'm working on. I'm always working on filling runs, always, always, always. But man, things are about to change. Things are about to change. But from a number of different, a handful of sellers, some on eBay, some one from a YouTube auction, and then I got a chunk of stuff from a local comic shop. But the last couple of weeks have been busy, have been good. So let's see, where we're gonna start. All right, so this is from one eBay seller. So working on this Hulk run, this Peter David Hulk run, plus a little bit before Peter David. This was actually one lot. There was a third issue in here. I don't remember what issue it was, but I already had it. But it was a 3-book lot where it had 321 and 322, and I needed both of those. So I have a duplicate of whatever that other one was. I don't remember. It's nothing significant, but it was worth it to buy the 3 to get these 2 value wise. So I was just lucky enough that that little lot has two-thirds of them I need. So to have them all bundled up and have them shipped together, I ended up getting these for pretty cheap, considering that. Let's see what else. This also working on the Spider-Woman run, number 20. This I have a couple regrets about this. First, and this I knew going into it. This issue is not in the best shape. It's pretty banged up here. It's probably not going to show through camera. It was crunched pretty well, breaking color and all that. This is one of the harder Spider-Women's to get just because it is meeting Spider-Man for the first time. I don't really care that much about having that in a higher grade, but I guess I would have liked it in a little better grade. The biggest problem is that this seller had 2 going for auction, and the reason that I kind of settled for this is, well, if I can get 2, I'm okay with this being lower grade if I can save on shipping and get both of them. I won this auction. I didn't win the other. So I got a subpar issue and had to pay shipping on just the one. So overall, shipping included, this was overpaid for, unfortunately. I wasn't paying attention to the other auction and I forgot about it. I was sitting as high bidder on both of them, and then the other one got sniped, and I just wasn't paying attention. So that's too bad. But it is what it is. It happens. But one closer. I need 2 more issues of Spider-Woman to have that full run. All right. For my Tales to Astonish run, Tales to Astonish number 99. These later Tales to Astonishes, like the early ones, and obviously the early ones, but the early ones for what I'm getting, the Submariner ones, starting at like 74, somewhere around there, are harder to get and a little more expensive, and the later ones are a little more expensive. And it ended up going through 101. So this 99, it's in decent shape. I was pretty happy with it. Got it for a reasonable price. So that's one more off of that list. Incredible Hulk. This is from another seller. Incredible Hulk number 376. This is one of the. I mean, there's not a whole lot of real expensive stuff in there, so the filler stuff, but some of it, your McFarlane stuff gets to be a bit much. But this one as well, where it's the Gray Hulk versus the Green Hulk, and this is in decent shape. So this I got from a seller. They had posted it. I sent an offer. They sent a counter offer, and I took it. I was pretty happy with what I got this issue for what I've seen other copies go for. And the shipping was reasonable to get just enough $1, so that was good. These next 3 were all from one seller, and this was the one I've really been waiting on. So first of all, they had an issue of Tales of the TMNT. I mentioned last time I did a video that I got a Tales of the TMNT. These are tough to get. This is a tough run to fill. Tales of the TMNT. They were lower print run. TMNT is really hot, especially right now. So these just regular issues go for like $10. It's not an easy run to fill up. It's not easy and not cheap, but I got myself into it. So as I find them, I pick them up. The second thing I got from this seller is Sleepwalker number 27, which is the last issue of Sleepwalker that I need. So this run is finished. Actually, at the time of this recording, I'm almost up to this issue. I started reading it knowing that the last issue I needed was coming in, and it was later. It's a 33 issue run, so knowing it was later in the series, like by the time I get to issue 27, I will have it by then. And I will say, I have really been enjoying Sleepwalker. Not that I expected to hate it by any means, or else I wouldn't have gotten it, but Sleepwalker and Darkhawk were the two new characters that came out of the scene when I really started getting into comics in the early 90s, right? Because they came out in 90 or 91. The issues one of these came out. So I had Darkhawk 1 and Sleepwalker 1 off the shelf. And some intermittent issues here and there. You know, I was too young to be getting like subscribing and stuff. So it's when I had some extra money, I would get whatever issue was currently out at, usually at an actual like newsstand or a convenience shop or something like that. So I collected all of Darkhawk and read it, and it was fine for the first 12 to 15 issues, and then it just kind of fell apart. It wasn't, I read it, I went through with it, but it wasn't great. I was worried the same thing was going to happen to Sleepwalker, and it did a little bit, but not quite to the degree. At the same time, around issue 12, 15, somewhere in the middle of the tens there, it did switch writers and artists. The art for the first part of Sleepwalker is really good, like really good. I was surprised how good the art, and I can't remember who it was that was the artist, but it was really good. I was surprised for that kind of book to have that good of an artist. But at the same time, the artist and the writer switched. The art is now fine. It's not as good, but the writing is still pretty good. So I'm going to say that Sleepwalker is a much better and more solid run than Darkhawk was, which surprised me. I didn't expect that. I'm glad, but I really like Sleepwalker. I like it a lot. But that run is finished. Then the third thing from that same seller, they had 3 things I needed in 3 separate runs. Ended my last one for Sleepwalker, and also the last issue I needed for the Incredible Hulk. So with that one seller, I finished 2 runs. The Sleepwalker run, sure, not too hard to do. My Incredible Hulk run, again, it's not full Incredible Hulk. It's issue 296 all the way to the end of the Peter David run, which is like 467. That's a significant run. There's a lot of stuff in there. And not all of it was real expensive, but it kind of ranged the gamut, right? There, I can get a lot of issues for like $2. Some in there that I mentioned, like, when you start getting McFarlane art, gets to like 10, 15, the beginning of the Peter David run around there, 10, 15, maybe 20. A couple of keys in there, first Thunderbolts is in there. The iconic Wolverine cover number 340 is in there. But for the most part, there's nothing huge. There's just a lot of it. And again, when you get into that McFarlane art stuff, there's nothing significant about them other than that it's McFarlane art. So those will go for a bit much. But that issue is done. I'm so excited to start reading that. So finish Sleepwalker, finish Hulk, 2 away from Spider-Woman. One of those might be on the way now. Doing pretty good. Gonna finish up runs. this next chunk, this is from local comic shops. This is all Deathlock. All Deathlock all the time. Bananas. Bananas, bonkers stuff. If you recall, I got the first 5 issues in a lot that I got off of a YouTube seller. They had a lot that had Brute Force. I bought it because I wanted the Brute Force, but it also had 1 through 5 of Deathlock, which is like, okay. So I decided to go for a Deathlock run, and as you can tell, the vast majority of it I was able to find locally. So, I'll do this in waves. So I have 1 through 5. I'd gotten 3 issues from another local comic shop a while ago, but 6, 7, 8, 9 from Ghost Rider, more Ghost Rider, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, chromie cover, 20, 21, 22. Wait, there's more. 23, 24, 25 chromie, 26, 30. Here's where it starts to being lower print run, so they're harder to get. 32, 34, then Annual 1 and Annual 2, and the Deathlock Special 4-issue miniseries. So this actually takes place before the run. There was the 4-issue prestige format Deathlock, which is volume 1, which I have. Then this 4-issue special came out, so this happens. It's not volume 2, but it's happens before volume 2, and then volume 2. Interesting note. Deathlock Special number 2. Not this issue. This was the first comic I ever owned. I don't think I have it anymore. But this is the first issue. This is the first comic I ever owned. It's a weird one. Deathlock Special number 2. And I didn't remember it until I started looking through. I started collecting the Deathlock stuff and looking through back issue bins like, oh yeah, there's the special series. I saw this and was immediately triggered. Like, oh my God, that's the first comic I ever bought. I don't really know why. Well, I kind of know why. So a longtime friend of mine, I've been friends with him since preschool, is who got me into comics, and man, was it from the cards, the Marvel Universe cards? I don't remember. I don't remember how I latched onto the idea of Deathlock, but like this cyborg shooty guy, like that was right up 11-year-old Titan's alley. For whatever reason, like that was awesome to me. So I remember getting my mom to get me to a comic shop, the first time I've ever been to a comic shop, and like, I want Deathlock. And she was like, okay, you can get one comic. I don't know, but and I was looking through Deathlock stuff, and like this cover was cool, so I picked up this cover. I got this, and this was my very first comic. I should go back and search to see if I still have that original copy. I don't think I do, which is why I bought this one. But little Titan history there. First comic book I ever owned, Deathlock Special number 2. It's a weird one, but that's what it is. So Deathlock is very close to being finished. I need 6 more issues of Deathlock, and then it will be done. And I actually know of an online shop that has all 6 that I need. So I'm probably going to be placing an order for those here pretty soon. You know, I've done my diligence I've checked all the local shops for everything I can get from locally. So now I'll go to an online seller. I'll get the rest there, and that'll be done. So that means Deathlock will be done. Hulk will be done. Sleepwalker will be done. I'm 2 away, really 1 away, because 1's on the way, of Spider-Woman. And once that's done, I'll really just have these long polls of Volume 1 of Submariner, the Submariner Tales to Astonish, and then, of course, Amazing Spider-Man. Those will be the only 3 runs that I'm going to complete that aren't complete, which will be good. I need to back off these runs for a little bit. It's getting to be too much. It's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Not to mention like how much reading it gives me, and it adds up, right? I mean, these Deathlocks, you know, they're $2, maybe $3 an issue when I get them, but that stuff adds up. And it's the same with like most of Darkhawk and Sleepwalker, when there's, you know, 30, 40 issues in a series, like that stuff adds up pretty quick. And when I have to get stuff online, so I have to pay shipping and that. I definitely don't plan to start any more runs anytime soon. Just because I need a break from them, and I need to catch up. I need to catch up on the actual reading here. It's getting ridiculous. Like the Hulk run alone, right? Issue 296 through 467, whatever. It's gonna take me forever to read through that. It's gonna be great, but it's gonna take a long time. You know, with how New Comic Book Days have been really big, it's not helping. But I do enjoy collecting runs. It is fun. The search is fun. The hunt is fun. Reading them is fun. Just having them. I like having the full runs of stuff and having read them. But I need to slow down. I need to stop. The Tales to Astonish and the Submariner, I'm not real active on getting those. Like every once in a while I'll look for them just because I know they're harder to get. Where it's like this stuff, I don't have to try very hard just to find it and knock it out, so I might as well. So those can kind of sit on the back burner, and when I find an issue or 2 for a good price, I'll pick them up and I'll fill it eventually. There's no big rush for it, but it'll get there. But that's it. So a little bit of mail call, a little bit of LCS hunting. But finishing those runs up feels good, makes me feel accomplished, and I'm so excited to read this. I'm almost finished reading Sleepwalker already. Also, I'll need something else. I'm about halfway through reading Volume 1 of Moon Knight, so I'll need to replace that with something else to read. I got plenty. I'm not I'm not hurting for stuff to read. That is for sure. So that is it. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your feeling on runs is. Or do you feel backfilling these runs, or are you mostly doing current stuff? Is this older stuff is just like, is it for you? Is it like, well, you just missed it, so it's not available in trade or whatever? It's just not for you, which is fine. I understand. Like I said, I collect these runs. I know how much work and how much money it can end up being. It's just a portion of collecting that I like doing, as well as key issue stuff. But what are your thoughts on going back and getting runs like that, or maybe it's just not as viable for you in your area, right? If you don't have a good source of comic shops that have back issues, then it's really tough. But let me know what you think, and I will see you soon. And don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.